What's up, everybody? Jacob here again, and today we're going to be taking the engine all the way out of the car with the transmission on it as well, all the peripherals on it and everything, intake and exhaust manifolds, and we're going to get it up on the crane out of the vehicle and take a look at it, figure out where all those fun leaks were that were always dripping and getting on my exhaust and making lots of smoke that was really stupid, and I loved it in traffic. We get to take a look at all that. One thing that I want to let you guys know is that I'm fully aware that the audio of the last video wasn't the greatest. It was actually because of my swamp cooler. I have a lot of footage that I have already taken, but it's okay. I can cut through it, and with some audio hackery I can get it all relatively good. So I've already done that with this episode today, so let's take a look at what's going on. Enjoy. Alright, so it's the next day and I got the drive shaft disconnected. Let's see here, exhaust is fully out. Let's see, there was some other cables and some other things that were underneath here that I had to unplug and get out of the way. I still have a couple of things on the transmission that I had to unplug. And then I have the two motor mounts that are up here on top. One is right down there underneath the exhaust manifold. The other is right down there underneath the intake manifold. So just a couple of bolts and a couple of plugs, and this thing should come out. So I'll get the crane hooked up and we'll start going. Alright, so a little bit later on in the day, I had to run out to the store a couple times. The way that I'm deciding to do this here, I've got these hooks. These are rated for over 3,000 pounds a piece, and I have it threaded, or not threaded, but I have it run through the eye here on the front of the engine. And there's one on the back here as well. It's kind of hard to see, but there's the same eye in the back, and I ran it the same way as I did here. And we should be able to come straight up and out. It's loose right now. So we'll get this thing up and out of here and then take another look at it once it's on the crane. Alright, got the engine out. For the longest time I had a transmission leak, and it turns out it was the rear seal. My valve cover has been corroding. You can see, like, just look at that. That right there. That's terrible. I need to replace my whole valve cover. But the actual inside where the gasket seals, you can kind of see where it's all wet right there. It was corroding in there, and I couldn't get the gasket to seal right. And so you can see that it's been leaking all through here. This is the rear right of the engine. You can see the rear right of the head gasket was leaking as well. I think my front crank seal was leaking as well. That's another good spot. I hear a lot of people talking about the timing cover. That's a good spot for it to leak. So anyways, that's kind of the rundown here. We'll take a look at the chassis. So we got two engine mounts. We got one right here, one right here. In the back, there's a bracket that goes across eventually back in there. So there's a total of 3 mounts. This is all going to get cleaned up and repainted. All of it looks pretty good. It's kind of hard to see because it's dark, but everything's nice and clean. This is definitely a good deal. So I don't know how far I'm going to get with this tonight. I might call it here pretty soon. But tomorrow's going to be remove the transmission day and possibly remove some of the peripherals. Just depends on how much of a pain it is to get the tranny off. But all right, we're this far. I'll come back. All right, we got the transmission off. Got it over here. So I got the torque converter out. The I don't know what you'd call this, the nipple that sticks into the engine. It was a little bit stuck inside the engine, so when I pulled it out, the dang torque converter pulled out, and hence the cardboard on the ground. But, you know, it's all good. Here we go. We got our flex plate. And the next thing on the list of things to do now that we have the tranny off, we need to mount this to our engine stand. So we'll get this thing mounted onto our engine stand so that we can much more safely work on it, so we're not, you know, I can store it overnight. I don't want to leave it on this jack